Hi, Susanna here. I want to video the instructions on how to put together our traditional chandeliers. Part of that instruction starts with being able to open the box and unpack it and segment things into the sections that will make it easier for you to put this together. So this is a picture of the box. We'll come back when it is all segmented and we'll talk about it. This is what it looks like when you open it. You have the main body right in this section. You have the candles in this section. You have these arms that loop around, and inside those arms you have the cups. So there's a lot of different moving parts here. You've got some of the dangly parts. So I'm going to go ahead now and unpackage this box and show you what it should look like when you've taken it all out to make it easy for you to put it together. One of the things I wanted to show you is that when I started opening the cardboard, the first thing I take out is the main body. You can see that it's wrapped in this bubble wrap and that it's connected heavily here. So don't be afraid of just yanking that cardboard off. This piece right here is connected to the next piece, and we will show you what to do with that. Okay, so now I have the main parts just taken out of the box. Here you will see the main body of the chandelier, the base I should say, and this wire goes up to the shank and the top. In the top you're going to find this cord that we'll deal with, but also I wanted to show you, you've got these little dangly pieces in plastic wrap. I'm going to leave those in the plastic wrap until we're ready to put those together. You're going to have the little candelabra pieces that we'll unpackage and just lay out. You'll have several packages of some of the dongles, is what I call them, or the little crystal pieces. I'm going to open those and separate them. There's ones that have 3 little crystal pendants, and then there's some that have 2. These are the cups that you see on the chandeliers. Each one of those cups have some crystal, I think 2 of them, or at least one, we'll show you. So that's in there. This is the base. We'll open that and show you all the things that are in that. This is the box. It has all the electrical supplies that you need if you were to put this in a ceiling. So most of what's in that box we're going to throw away. But as I open it, I will take the time to show you what is kept and what is thrown away. And that's rather important. So see you in a few. Okay, I've opened the box. I'm going to show you what's in here and what you need to keep. This is the chain that goes on the cord. We want to keep that. So I'm going to put that in the keep pile. This, the only thing you're going to keep out of here are these 2 carabiners. Everything else gets thrown away. This is the base. It's kept. Put that in the kept pile. And then this little piece that goes at the very bottom of the chandelier, we keep that. So out of all of this, what gets thrown away is everything in this packet, but these 2 carabiners. Save those. Everything else, toss. Okay, I just wanted to demonstrate when you're unpackaging your chandelier, you may run into this, where 2 of these dangly crystal things are connected. Don't let that freak you out. Just look at the packet you're undoing. It's one of the 3, which is, see, you have 1, 2, 3 crystals, then that means when you separate it, it should look like this. It happens to be in the package that contains the 6 crystals that have 1, 2 crystals, then it should have 2. Okay, I'm going to separate them and I'll be back. Okay, so this is another little dilemma I wanted to warn you about. I opened the package that contained these and immediately I pull out just a chain. And so I want you to be aware. You think, okay, in there should be another one of these crystal dangles that I have to put on. And I found it, so I will put it on. Knowing that these are 5 on each side, you're going to count and put it in the center. Okay, so I'm gonna correct this problem, but I also, while doing it, want to show you the basic unit of how all of this chandelier is put together. So I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you see that you've got this little round piece of misery. Is it? Let me get down by the window. So when you're putting these things together, you're gonna have to use your nail to separate them like that. This is the only really fragile part of this whole chandelier. That's why we bought it, because you can't break crystal, but boy, if you break these, you're kind of in a world of hurt. So I'm just kind of slipping that in, and then we have the unit. So you can see it is now the way it should look. Okay? Okay, so the first part of doing this is that you're going to pick up this piece right here, and you'll notice that you've got all these packages of dongles. You're gonna want to try to keep those in the package as long as possible until it's time that we put it in. But we're dealing with wires here that need to be pulled down. Oh, important part I forgot. On here are these little, kind of zoom in if you can, little plastic pieces right here. Those need to really come off. You just use a pair of scissors to cut them off. And I'm gonna do that now, and then we'll come back to this. So I cut those little pieces off just by using a pair of scissors, slipped them up underneath and trimmed them. Now this wire that you see right here is to be used if you were gonna wire it into a ceiling. Well, we're not gonna do that, so we're just gonna cut this wire off. So the tools that you're gonna need to do that is wire cutters. And you just come down as, actually we're gonna cut it off at the top. So pull all these wires up. And it gets a little awkward, so don't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm a klutz, because that's just the nature of it. We're gonna actually trim it clear up here. Now the reason for that is if you trim it down at the bottom, you may have a hard time getting it to screw in the base. So this is trash, just gonna throw it away, like that. So now we're gonna screw the base in. So there's a little trick to that. I want you to try to see if you can see down in that hole. Can you see it? You're gonna just basically screw that down in the hole. But the best way to do that is to do it upside down. Make sure that you have all your wires pulled so that you can get this in the hole. So I can see by looking up there, and now I'm holding it down here at the base. I've got my hand on this metal thing right here, because that is kind of a locking device. You're gonna hold that steady, and then you're just gonna spin this top using these things. I just found that it's the easiest way to do it. Now when you're doing this, be mindful of this little piece right here. See how it can go crooked? You just want to push that so that it stays in alignment together. Because once you get it really tight, it can be too tight. So now I'm going to switch to screwing this part right here. So I'm holding the base, all of it together, and I'm just twisting this thing right here. You want this to be really nice and tight, but not so tight that it pinches and misaligns this. The obvious reason for that is that you want to be able to do this and not have it all weird at the bottom. So you just kind of keep screwing this in, finding your balance until you found the best. And that's probably about possibly as good as you're going to get. You may want to do this a little bit more, but mostly is it going to be safe. See how it got tighter? So it's a combination of spinning this up here, turning this here, making sure that this centerpiece right in here isn't crooked. Seems difficult, but it's really not. Okay, on to the next. So now we've got our cord here, and it needs a chain. So very basically, you're just going to lay this down open this cord up, found another one of these little plastic things. Should just slip right off right now. See? So here's the chain. And what we're gonna do is pretty simple. You're gonna twist these together. Try to keep these little caps on the best you can, just because it gets annoying if you've got the frayed wire still available. So I'm just gonna go this direction here, and every other chain I'm gonna go through. So one, now I'm gonna go through the next. Just basically threading this wire through the chain. And we're gonna do that all the way to the top. So I'll meet you at the top. Now, do you remember me showing you these two carabiners that were in the little box? These are the only pieces that you take out of the box. And the reason they're here and they're important is they clip on to this very end right here of the chain. And then it clips and anchors the chain to the chandelier, if you've got the right end. So see, I'm just opening it and clicking it on to the chandelier so that you have more of an anchor. So the very end needs one as well. So again, just opening it up and sliding it on. We're going to put a plug on the end of this, but we'll do that at the end. Right now what we're going to do is that this has a tendency to loop like this and drape. To try to help that not happen, we're going to go down at the top and we're just going to make sure that it's as tight as we possibly can, making it straight. Now, we're going to tie a knot, but we're not going to tie a knot in the very end carabiner that we just put on. We're going to do that knot in the chain itself. So when you're looking at it with the carabiner on, it's the second loop, okay? And it's a simple knot. We're just going to go through like this. So you can see that it's just a simple knot, and we're going to come back around and pull it tight. You may have to, use your fingers and just kind of pull it tight. And then we're going to try to do that again. Up, through, and then again. It's just a twisty knot. And there you go. Tie a square knot. You don't want to tie it so knot that you break the wires that are in there, but it just needs to be snug. That's just going to help this chain stay nice. Okay? So now we're going to go on to putting the next part of the chandelier together. So we're going to lift this up and put the chain behind you. You're going to open these and they just twist. And you're doing this so that you can have some balance, and this is also how the chandelier looks. And they're firm, so don't be too nervous about that. Go ahead and just open them up and then look at them and see if they're even spaced, right? And there's plenty of time to adjust it, but something else, if you can kind of zoom in on this. There are on every arm these little plastic loops that have 3 holes in them. They can hide down in here. So it's okay if they stay there now, but just know that you're going to be putting pieces on that. So just be aware that you should have them, and they're usually hiding down here. Okay? So I'm going to set this just like that and put it off to the side. Now, I found that one of the best ways to start off with this is to chain the cups together. So here's the cup. Let's do a close-up of the cup. I'm told it's better if it's on my black shirt. So here's the cup facing the front. You can see that there are 2 pieces hanging. Now there are 3 other hooks. There's a hook here, and in the back, and on the side. So if you think of this as the front of the chandelier, you then have a hook on either side and a hook in the back. And that's really important to remember. Right now, we're going to string these cups together. And to do that, we're going to use these pieces right over here that are your 5 with the center, okay? So, in the best way you can, you're gonna go ahead and open up your loop here. I tend to want to put my fingernail in like that. Looking at my cup, I'm going to go to the right of the 2 things dangling. I'm going to slide it through there, twist it, and now it's on. Okay, so now we're going to daisy chain the next cup together. So, I'm kind of shooting from the back. Maybe Alicia, if you come around and shoot from the back, I can show this a little better. So they're like this. I'm going to set this cup down right here, like this. I'm going to pick up the next cup. There's my 2 dangly things. I obviously don't want to hook this like this, because then we'd be kind of messed up, right? I'm going to hook it to the one that's to the left. So, opening up this little device again. Put your finger right on the inside of these little hooks. The one thing that is fragile in this whole device is these little circular pieces, which you can buy at any jewelry store or like a Hobby Lobby. But this piece right here, if this falls out, you have to use a paper clip or wire, and it's really difficult. So try to be gentle with those. I'm going to hook it right through there and twist it. So you can see I have a daisy chain going. Oh, and there's a casualty. That's not a big deal. I'll just put that piece back on. But now I'm going to daisy chain all 6 of these together. And I'm going to start by just putting this here, and then I'm going to put this on top until I get my next one out. And that's where we'll go. So I have all my cups. I do need to make a correction. I believe earlier I said to you that there were only 6 of these. There's really 12. So don't feel nervous if you've got 6 left over when you're done with your cups. So at the very end of your chain, you should have a loose one, and that will be what we close the circle with. So what I'm going to do now is, and the reason why I told you to kind of cup these together, is that it's much easier to put them on the chandelier when you have them cupped. So you just put them on like this. Now, again, I don't know if I said this to you, but I said it to Alicia. When you're putting these originally on, really be mindful that you are putting them in the right place, because undoing these chains is really painful when you do it wrong. So do it slowly. Now all I'm going to do is close this loop with the left hand hook, and then we'll go on from that. Sometimes you have to take it off to be able to do that. I'm putting my finger again on this so I can hold that piece in place. And again, I'm just twisting it on. And then your chandelier is beginning to take shape. Isn't that fun? Okay, so now what you're going to want to do is hook. We're going to work with these up here. So you're going to want to unwrap these. And you're going to take the plastic off. So if you look at the picture on your instructions, what this piece is this hanging down. And you can see weird on the picture, it's not three-dimensional, but it's going to go on that back hook of your cup. So it's going to hook right here, the back hook. You've only got one hook left. So you've got 6 of them, 2, 4, and 6 right here. So you're going to be mindful of how you put them on, because you're going to make sure that I'm going to do one here and one here. And then I'll do one on this one, one on this one, one on this one, and one on this one. And they get crossed, is why I say be mindful. So as you're putting them on, just be mindful that you don't like take this one and pull it all the way over to here, obviously, okay? So it's put on the exact same way, just opening up this little clip and then putting it right on the back one, which, uh-oh, look, here's an example of how I put this one on the back instead of on the side. So here's an example of, oh dang. So I'll have to take this one off, which is not fun. And there you go, be more careful than I was. So here we go. I don't think I really need to show you how to do this one, but I'm just gonna open it up. On this one, hooking it onto the back, just exactly like I've done the others. And now you can see you have a cup that has dangly going from here, dangly going from here, and dangly going to the back, and these two clips right here. And now I'm going to fix this one, not on film, and we'll go back after you've done all 6 of these, or yeah, all 6 of these, and we'll continue. Two things we're going to do during this clip. One, we're just going to slip these candle sticks on, and the wax part obviously goes on top. So I won't bore you with putting all of mine on. So basically that's just it. I will show you that don't be afraid to straighten this out. Okay, you don't have to have a bent candlestick. All right, so now we're going to use these little clips that are probably hiding down in your present. And maybe Alicia, come around behind me and it might be a better show. Okay, so on this clip, again, we have 3. So I'm holding it where it's like this, where there's 1, 2, and 3 in the bottom. And the reason for that is that we're going to use the last 6 of these, and we're going to loop them together between clips exactly like this. So side to side, to side to side. Then you'll have a bottom one that you will clip one of these dangly ones on. So once you realize that, it makes sense. And again, be careful that you are mindful of where you're putting this thing on, because it can be tricky to get off. Now I'm going to twist it so that I can, looks like I'm putting it on the bottom, because it's just easier for me. Any way that you can get it on is fine. But then I'm going to take it and look at it and go, okay, that's the side. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to pick one that's the side. And obviously when it's spinning around, they're all equal distance. It doesn't matter which one you pick, just pick one. So I'm gonna clip this on. And these little things are tiny little hole. And I'm really finding that it's more of a sense of where it is than seeing it, at least for me, because I don't have that great of eyesight. So you can see there you have it looped between, and they're going to hang right down here. So I'm just going to move my chandelier and look at this again, just make sure I have side to side. Take another one of my the ones that are shaped like this. I'm going to go ahead and open this. I'm going to look at this again, make sure I'm grabbing one that's the side, which is this one right here, and you can see how it wants to trick you. So I'm just going to put this in the hole. And if you have a hard time doing this, don't feel bad. It's a feel. You'll get better at it. And hopefully you only have to do this once in your life. So then again, I stretch it out, take the time to look to make sure it's side to side, and there's one down there. And that's it. We're going to finish this, and then we'll come back. We're back on. So we've only got 3 more steps to do. And so the next step are going to be putting the remainder of the crystals on. Just a reminder, there's one that has 2, and then there's a set that have 3. And I'm showing you the instruction manual because you can see that here's the 1, 2, 3, and here's the 2. So it does give you an idea of where it goes, okay? So this one right here, you notice is under the cup. So if you'll notice right here, there's another one of these hooks under the cup, okay? The 3 goes under the cup. All right? Then down here, your bottom one is the tube. And that makes sense if you think of this has to hang longer than this does because it's the bottom. That's how I remember. And I mess it up every time, so be mindful so that you don't have to undo. So 3 and then 2. And then when you're done with that, we'll put the base on, and that's pretty easy to do. And then we will put the plug on, and that's also very easy to do. So we're almost done. Good job, guys. Well, it's Susanna again, so I want to show you how to put the base on. You can see that this is just a metal base down here. We have this screw that we're going to undo right here. This little silver dongle, I'm just going to put that down. Then there's a nut that you're going to take off. Just screws off. Just going to put that down as well. Okay, then you're going to take this piece right here. You can see that the chandelier is just laying on its side. Okay, just going to put that on, centered. Then this piece is shaped so that you can see that this part right here is going to fit very nicely right in this hole. So you want to put the little indent into the hole. Then you're going to put this nut back on. You're going to use a pair of wire cutters, not wire cutters, needle nose pliers, or a pair of scissors works really good. Just to get in there and really tighten this nut strongly, okay? After that's done, you're going to take this little silver piece again and just screw that in tightly as well. And then that's it for that. And then we will show you how to put the plug on momentarily. We are now going to put the plug on, which is the very last part of doing the chandelier. I wanted to show you the plug itself. It can be purchased at Lowe's or Home Depot. 2 come to this package, and I just call them a snap plug, but that's what they look like. What you're going to do with this plug is that you're going to actually take this out. So then you've got a piece with a hole there and a hole here, and then this plug. It's called a snap plug because it's going to snap the 2 wires together and connect them. So I'm going to put those 2 pieces down. You're going to take wire cutters and you're going to cut the end of the wire just so that you have a really clean break. Then this wire is going to go in this side hole right here so that it goes up through the middle. So pretty simple. That's the easy part. Then you're going to flange these open. So you just want to make sure that these little brass plates are open all the way. And then there's a hole right in the center. And you're going to put this wire in that hole. And it's tight. So you're going to feel, when you put it in, you're going to feel it hit and you'll think, oh, it's there, but that's not it. You need to hold on tight to the plug and to the wire and push a little bit further, and I hope you saw how my finger just sort of slipped in. Then you're going to scoot down and push again until you can't get it to go anymore. You're going to push these together, slide it back into the center of this, and if you're really strong, you can just use your fingers. I'm not, so I have to use a pair of needle nose pliers. And let's hope these are wide enough. Yeah. And then all that's going to do is just push this in. And when you push this in, what it will do is snap those 2 wire connections together. And these aren't the best plugs and wire cutters because I can't quite get them open enough. There we go. So there you go. The plug is in. And then of course you'll plug it in to see if it works. And we will do that and we'll show you what the chandelier looks like completed. Okay, so we plugged in the chandelier and as you can see the lights are all working and this is what our completed chandelier looks like.
You can see you have your daisy chains here and your cups and all your dangly beautiful things. So if you have any problems putting this together when you're working on it, just give me a call. Thanks so much, you guys.